And one of our top stories that we want to get to right now is an update on a story that made really national headlines yesterday, and for all the wrong reasons. Sadly, 2 people died after 2 planes collided in midair in Marana Regional Airport that's just outside of Tucson.
12 News journalist Troy Lynch is live in studio. Troy, you know, I thought it was really interesting what you were talking about earlier this morning is that a lot of these airports, these smaller airports, do not have air traffic control.
I know, and Marana Regional Airport is definitely one of them, not having an air traffic control tower. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but actually most smaller airports don't have one of those. Now, according to ADA, Arizona has 83 airports here in the state, and only 8 have a tower. So at these smaller airports, it's just the pilots communicating with each other. But we don't have a ton of information on how exactly this happened. But according to the National Transportation Safety Board, these 2 planes collided mid-air. Luckily, it wasn't a head-on collision. However, one plane was actually able to land while the other hit the ground near a runway and caught fire. Now, there were 2 people in each plane. 2 died from the plane that hit the ground, and the 2 other people in the other plane, they were able to miraculously walk away. Now, the FAA is investigating, and as of right now, no names have been released on anybody who was involved.
2 individuals were located deceased. The other 2 individuals did not sustain any serious injuries, and the NTSB is currently en route to further the investigation. Yeah, it's amazing that they were able to walk away from it, and we're glad that they're okay. Yeah, it's an unfortunate event.
Very unfortunate. Now, according to NTSB, last year, Arizona had 41 aviation accidents and 4 were deadly. But now we're dealing with 2 fatal plane crashes here in Arizona in less than 2 weeks and 3 in the last 4 months. So I want to give you a really quick timeline. Obviously, this is what happened yesterday at Marana Regional Airport where 2 people died. But then if we just date it back 9 days, on February 10th, a plane's landing gear at Scottsdale Regional Airport had a landing gear malfunction, and it was landing and collided with a parked plane as it was sliding on the runway, and the pilot unfortunately died and 3 other people were injured. And then if we date it back just a couple of months, even further, last November in Mesa, 5 people died when a plane was trying to take off at Falcon Field Airport, but never got airborne and crashed into a car. And guys, this is sparking a lot of concern. I mean, not just here in Arizona, but all over the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Troy, before we let you go, it's been interesting how a lot of family who is planning to come, you know, when the baby is here. And talking to my sister yesterday after she saw what happened in Marana, she says, I'm kind of concerned to fly right now. I have to imagine she's not alone in that.
No, she's not. I mean, my wife has been flying all over the place over the last month, and to Texas a couple of times, to Florida even once. And, you know, we've talked about that too. Like, what's going on and how safe should we feel? And Google Trends data actually shows searches for is it safe to fly have been surging recently. And some experts say flying is the safest and most efficient way for long distance travel. However, so far this year, there have been 6 major aviation incidents around the country, 2 of those here in Arizona. But believe it or not, the NTSB's preliminary data shows this past January actually set the record for the lowest amount of aviation accidents around the country with 63. That's 7 fewer than the previous record, January record that was set in 2012. So just kind of crazy to hear.
Well, I mean, you hear a lot all the time, right? That flying is considered safer than driving. And so when you hear of all the incidents, you may forget that, but it looks like that's still the case.
Yeah, and then to have a couple right here close to home, that's really difficult. All right, thank you, Troy.